I am Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj. I am Assistant Professor in Delhi University. Welcome to this lecture of the series in e-commerce. As you all know, we have been discussing quite a lot about e-commerce in the previous lectures, and this will be the first lecture in the series. So we have already, discussed what is e-business, what are the components of e-business, and we were talking about the phases of launching an online business. So we have spoken about how planning and strategizing happens in case of e-business, how infrastructure and resource acquisition takes place, and then what are the phases in website development, what are the pros and cons, what are the important points which one has to remember while a website is being developed. Now today we are going to talk about another very important phase, that is the marketing phase in online business. So as you all know that for any business it is very important to create awareness of the existence of the business. So same holds true for any kind of e-business also. So the only difference here is that where you have tangible forms of marketing in case of the conventional businesses, in the brick and mortar businesses, in case of online business or in case of e-business, the entire marketing scenario will also be developed around the virtual world and based on the internet. So marketing therefore is a very important component as it is in any other business, for e-business also. So we know that online advertising is a way of mass communication, and it is based on all traditional forms of advertising. So the key elements of advertising and marketing remain the same, right? But it develops its own strategies, and it is because when you are talking about online communication or when you are talking about digital communication strategy, so we have to always keep in mind the new and the latest technological developments which are happening, what is the state of the art things which are coming in the fore, and what are the consumers using at the moment, what media are more available to the consumer. So you have to tap particular media in order to tap those customers, right? So it's not just about delivering advertisements to the online users, but also to garner support and to garner awareness and to garner a buzz about your business. And for this different methods, different means, different tools and techniques are adopted by the different e-businesses. Like we have the websites, we have emails, we had ad supported software, and we have various kinds of internet enabled smartphones. So e-business users or e-business vendors or the owners, they have to develop strategies so that they can market their business, market their products for each kind of user, whether it is a smartphone user or it is a computer user or whatever device, whatever mobility device the consumer may be using, the person has to be able to do this. So internet marketing basically has been divided into two main types. So first is display advertising, that is the use of web banners or banner ads which are placed on third party websites to drive traffic to a company's own website and increase the awareness, right? So we always see that in case of search engine marketing, right, or in case of any email marketing, so we see that horizontal or vertical banners, they appear on either side of the browser window or at the bottom of the browser window, or sometimes we also see that pop-up ads appear on the browser window when we are browsing the internet, and the basic purpose of these ads is to divert the traffic to and take the consumers or take the users to the website. So this is one very important area of using pop-up ads or banner ads kind of things to drive the traffic, right? So in search engine marketing, now this search engine marketing basically can be a paid marketing also, or it can be unpaid also. So in this case, whenever a user or whenever a consumer search for a particular product, so then your website's URL should come on top, because we know there are multiple researches which have been done which tell us that users will only click on the first few links which appear as a result of the search engine result, search in as any kind of search engine result. So therefore it can be contextual advertising, or we can pay for it, and it can also be search engine. So one very important technique which is used by the websites or by the e-businesses is the search engine optimization techniques. So there are these techniques, they will make your page more visible to a search engine, or to the spiders, or to the crawlers, or the specific programs which go on searching web pages for the keywords, or making all the images being readable by the search engines, or making the license, let's say some products are under Creative Commons license, and so all these techniques must be used by the website designer, so that the page becomes more easily readable, more easily findable by the search engine. So search engine marketing is catching up really fast, and as we know that nowadays, if you will use, say for example, Google search engine for searching something, so even the first 5, even the 10 pages which you see on top are advertisement. They say the word ad is written there, so this means that is a paid inclusion by the company into the results of the search engine. So this is one very important thing which we need to understand. So another ways in which this can be done is social media marketing. So we all know that these days social media websites like Facebook and the Twitter and all these are making a lot of noise, and a lot of people, millions and trillions of users are using these websites. So there is no better way to tap that kind of infinite potential of market if you are using there. So we see that so many sites, like for example Jabong or Flipkart, or these sites, they use Facebook as a primary medium for marketing of their products, and driving and creating awareness about their products. Then we have email marketing also, which involves directly marketing a commercial message to a group of people using electronic mail. So electronic mail can be sent to a new consumer also, but it makes even all the more sense when you want to make a customer as a repeat customer. So you want to send an email message to the customer, and it's more likely that people will revert to, or will open, or will read the email which has been sent to them by a company whose products they are already using. So it's it's very important that for continuing your relationship with your customers, the email communication is set in. So this is another very important way in which marketing can be done for e-businesses. Then referral marketing is very important. So these days we know that people buy a lot of products using the reviews, and looking at the reviews of the product. So new customers can be driven to your business if you have a good referral program. And there are so many companies these days, they use they give special perks to the people who refer their company or their product to their peer group, or who spread the word about it. So they they will say that if you send this message to 10 users, then you will get this benefit, or you will get this bonus point, or you will get this kind of affiliate. Then you have affiliate marketing also, in which the business rewards of one or more affiliates for each visitors or customer brought out by the affiliate's own marketing effort. So you have companies who work as a conglomerate, and they will sort of divert traffic to each other. So that is another kind of marketing strategy which is used by e-businesses. Then of course you have content marketing, because we know that so many people are using blogs, they are using Twitter, they are using so many other content creation websites. So these people, they can convert the prospective lookers or the viewers of those content into customers. So they can also become the customers can also be transformed into repeat customers. So we all know that how much impact these websites are having on people, and how much following these people have on those. Then we also have the influencer marketing. Influencers are specific people whose main job is they specialize in a particular domain of products. Say for example, you have influencers who are talking about automobiles. So they are specialists in automobiles, and people really pay attention to what they are saying, and people sometimes also they take their buying decisions based on the opinions of specific influencers, and these people who are working on social media and who are using the digital media for doing the reviews of products, and their reviews count. So many times we have to, if it's a new business, we may have to contact these reviewers and these influencers, these social media influencers and otherwise also market influencers, so that they can talk and they can give a positive feedback about your product. So all this, in together, in totality, all these efforts have to work. It's not just one standalone method which will work. It's a combination of strategies which has to be developed in order to make your online business a successful business. So after you have done the marketing and you have got your customers to your website, then you enter into the next phase of e-business development, and that is the fulfillment phase. So fulfillment phase is very, very important, because once the customer comes to the business house, then it becomes the responsibility of the business, the responsibility of the company to give services and to make the customer into a satisfied and happy customer, so that he can not just become a repeat customer, but he can also be an agent of marketing for you. As we have seen that he can be a positive reviewer for your product, he can give an affiliate for your product. So you can have for fulfillment phase, the most important thing is just in time delivery. So we all know that today's lives are very busy, and generally the people who are coming in for online shopping and for these things, they are people who have very less time. So they would like the delivery to be scheduled according to their convenience, and therefore it's the duty of the online business to deliver the products as and when the user or the customer wants those products. And so therefore tight scheduling is very important, and keeping the customer in the loop of the progress, and giving constant product tracking facility to the customer will make the customer all the more assured that the company is very particular, and therefore the company will take care of how the product is reaching the customer and when the product is reaching the customer. Say for example, many companies, like for example many of the pizza delivery joints, the pizza companies, they give you a minute by minute order tracking, that what stage of the product, what stage of advancement is the product, whether it is being cooked or it is being delivered or it is on the way or it is reaching in how much time, because they have a very tight delivery schedule. So therefore information tracking facility, when given to the customer or giving a constant update to the customer, becomes a very critical point in creating a fulfilled customer. It creates a positive vibe in the customer when the customer is very well informed about the product and the progress in the delivery channel. Another important thing is that the product pricing should be appropriate and transparent. We all know these days that people buy any product after comparing all the products which are available in the market. And comparing product, there are specific portals which allow you to compare the pricing and the attributes of different products. So therefore the pricing of any product should be very appropriate and it should be competitive, because at the end of the day price is a major decision making factor which is going to affect the buying decision and buying behavior of any customer. So therefore appropriate pricing and also keeping a competitive price is definitely going to take the business far away, if the company is keeping a watch on that. Then after sales services are also very important, because there are so many products which would require constant updates. Say for example, if you talk about say filters, or if you talk about electronic equipment, so those services it's very important that the company reaches out to the customer and reaches out and finds out if there is anything, you know, which the customer requires, or if there is any kind of, you know, contract which needs to be signed after the sales also. So it should be, you know, a relationship building is an essential component in e-business as it is in any other business. So therefore after sales services are also very, very important. And then definitely every e-business should ensure that the delivery procedures are standardized, that is the product reaches the customer in you know, is safely and as promised. The packaging and, you know, the covering and the delivery methods should be safe. For example, we know that, you know, when we are in the pandemic, so many companies, you know, they are ensuring the customers that they will ensure that, you know, all COVID protocols are maintained while the product is delivered to the customer's doorstep. So all these things need, you know, they all create a vibe and they all give the company a good reputation, and it builds a customer goodwill when you are talking about it. So next phase after the fulfillment phase is the maintenance and enrichment phase. So maintenance is very important because, you know, the website, as we say, the website is the, you know, the showcase, or the website is the interface of the business with the outside world. So it's very important to keep the website updated, to constantly keep innovating with the look and feel of the website, to remove any redundant pages. The website should always, you know, have the correct and updated information so that the customers do not feel, you know, cheated, or they do not feel misinformed at any point in time. Then as we all know that, you know, the shelf life of technology is, you know, reducing rapidly. So it's very important that the company keeps on upgrading and the hardware and as well as the software updations also take place at regular intervals, so that, you know, the overall functioning of the website, that is how the response time of the website is going to work, how well the website is going to connect to the user, how fast or slow the website is going to be. All these aspects are taken care of when you talk about the hardware and when you take care of the hardware and software infrastructure of your website. Then it's also very important to have efficient documentation about the user, about the customer, about the products, and about whatever, you know, transactions are happening. Whatever licenses the company requires, they need to be showcased to the user. So that, you know, the online customer feels satisfied, the online customer feels assured that the company is following all the you know, standards, policies, procedures and laws of the land. Then the content, as I've already discussed, the content needs to be constantly be updated, and the functionality of the website needs to be updated. It's very important, you know, that the scalability and affordability of the website goes on increasing, because when you start the business your scale is low, but as you know, your market increases, your customers increases, your business expands. So definitely you need to make it more and more scalable, and also make the entire experience a positive experience and a more lucrative experience for the customer. So therefore it's very important that you you know, keep the website and keep the entire portal abreast with whatever latest is happening, and whatever you know, whatever maintenance is required, it must be carried on very, very frequently for this method. Then another last and but definitely not the least phase is the feedback phase. So it's very important for any company or any institution to work on feedback from the customers. So feedback can be collected using multiple, you know, tools, like you can have online polls, you can have questionnaires, you can use various artificial intelligence tools these days. You know, you can it's important, you know, that you have these FAQs, the frequently asked questions, which should be there on your website, so that, you know, the user is able to understand how the company is working, what are the refund policies, what are the return policies, whether the company is you know, socially responsible company, whether it's an environmentally sustainable business venture. So there are so many aspects these days, you know, which the company would like to know. Also it's very important, you know, that the feedback which the customers give you, which your existing customers give you, they are going to also determine the you know, the prospect of the future customers, because we all these days know that whenever people are making any decision, say it is a hotel booking, online hotel reservation, or it is purchase of any item, or any kind of service industry, any kind of service which one wants to order online. So for all that, people read reviews, and studies have shown that a person who has to give a negative review, so the chances of a person writing a review with negative experience are double than the one for the one who is going to write a positive review for the company. So definitely the company has to make sure that the feedback which is collected, it is collected also from the persons who have been satisfied, because generally feedback is given by the dissatisfied customers. So the company should come forth and ask the customers how their experience was, and if any customer has any kind of grievance related to the product or related to the service delivery or any other aspect of the experience of the user with your business venture, then that needs to be pitched in, and that needs to be rectified right in the bud. Otherwise this is going to have a cascading effect. So therefore feedback should not just be taken for the purpose of promoting one's business, but also for the purpose of creating a positive user experience and creating a goodwill for the company, creating a good name for the company, and projecting the company as a responsible and sensitized organization. So therefore feedback phase is another very important, and whichever visitors are coming to the website, they must be honored, they must be treated as honored guests for the website. So feedback phase will it will again, after you have your feedback, then it will again go back to the strategizing and planning phase, because once you have the feedback of the users, that feedback is a very important point to start with the evolution or revision in the strategy. From the feedback, many a times the business companies get to know what the customer really wants, and there are several instances where, based on the customer's feedback, based on the market studies, the companies have reinvented themselves, and then the new avatar has become even more successful than the older avatar. So the feedback phase goes back into the planning and strategizing phase. That is why we say that this entire process of business development or e-business development is a cyclical process, because one stage, the last stage, that is feedback, goes back into the first stage. So it becomes the feedback again becomes the input for the planning and strategizing phase. So this was about the basic steps which are required, basic phases which are there in case of online business. So it's very interesting to know that there are different types of online buyers, and they have very different behaviors. We have always we have come across so many people. Some people will be adventurous explorers. So this is actually a small segment which presents a large opportunity for the e-business, because they require little or special attention by the internet vendors, because they believe online shopping is fun and they are likely the opinion leaders for all things online. So retailers should nurture and cultivate them to be online community builders and shopping advocates. So these are really fun loving young people, and they will write reviews and they will create the buzz, whether good or bad, for the company. So therefore the business houses should they should try to develop a positive outlook and a positive they should reach out to this kind of segment, although it is a small segment of people, but then they can create major difference into it. So we will be continuing with the types of online behaviors. Thank you.